So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Moon Rahu conjunction in the ninth house of your horoscope. As in, what happens when Moon and Rahu are sitting in the ninth house of your birth chart. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details, check out the links here, KRSchannel.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm currently teaching Nandidati course, which is a very simplified, easy version of astrology to understand, because I make things easy. So, Moon Rahu in the ninth house. So, ninth house represents your bhagya, your luck, your fortune. You know how fortunate you are because of the deeds of your ancestors. Okay, so remember, whatever luck you are bringing in the lineage that you're born into heavily depends upon how the lineage did before you were born. So this is why ninth house is very important for that. Okay, and its significator of the ninth house is Jupiter itself, the planet that represents Jiva, wisdom, knowledge. And our knowledge comes from where? Our knowledge really truly comes from ancestors. Like, for example, what is astrology? Astrology wouldn't exist, you know, if it wasn't for those high level rishis. You know, astrology, if it was invented now, I wouldn't have interest in it. Maybe I might, because of course I would have linked with the stars. But again, it's because of the ancestors that we are here today. And it also represents the higher knowledge. Higher knowledge, mainly it represents the higher knowledge, the wisdom that you achieve in your life. Nowadays, we have kind of like slapped on the title of like post-grad education, you know, PhD, master's degree. But again, those are really not truly ninth house. They're like crumbs of the ninth house. They're not really giving you wisdom. They're just giving you like this knowledge of how to deal with something in a practical world. And then ninth house also represents your gurus. It represents your father. So now you have Moon Rahu there. So Moon, which is naturally a a very strong planet of unraveling of the karmas. Like Moon holds all the, you know, the hard drive of your karmas. It's don't look at Moon as a malefic or benefic planet, but Moon is really a very powerful, strong planet. I mean, as much as you're afraid of Saturn, I wouldn't be afraid of Saturn. I would be more afraid of Mercury and Moon. I don't know how to instill that in people. Moon unravels things. Okay. And then Rahu is there. So on one end, Rahu becomes the enemy of the Moon, meaning Rahu is going to now send all the poison to the Moon. Rahu or Moon has to deal with this dark dust of Rahu, especially if it's behind the degrees of Rahu, because that means the dust storm is coming towards you. If you're past the dust storms, you've already gone through certain, you know, windfalls of this particular dust, but you're over with it. So those things matter heavily here. But one of the things we see here is that a person's ambition, okay, their ambitions, their goals, and obsessions kind of get tied somehow with the father. Either a person, if they have an abusive relationship with the father, they will always try to get that approval of the father. That, okay, my father doesn't like me, what can I do to please him? On the other hand, it also brings obsessive worries about the father. How's my father's health? What does my father need? Oh my God, I'm worried about my father's situation right now. And on the other hand, you know, depending upon which way the dust storm is flowing, one becomes extremely carefree related to the ninth house with Moon Rahu. One will kind of have a very broad and widened idea about what wisdom is. And especially you will see with this moon Rahu, is that a person will be very much interested in learning about different cultures. They're the one who want to travel, in summer, wanting to just go to a different country and see how their lifestyle is like, especially food. They become very much interested in foreign foods, or they get interested in the ancestral food. Like, for example, people who either go into complete carnivore diets, vegan diets, there's this somehow link with food and the lineage very strongly. And because of Rahu, being fear, there's always fear of that ninth house. Like, one will always be afraid of the challenge of attaining a higher education. Whenever any issue of higher education comes in, the anxiety builds up, panic builds up. Sometimes you will see with this moon and Rahu, a person feels very uneasy when they go into some religious place. Because what can happen with this is that in past life, one could have been such an atheist or would have done such damage to a religious place that in this particular birth, it's kind of like a locked door. So when they go in there, their anxiety goes up. They absolutely feel like this is like just some negative place. And this is why you may see some people who kind of like, oh no, religion is this, religion is that, is because of these things. It's not like they know the gospel of God and what humanity should be doing. It's their own personal karmas and the ancestral karmas, especially of the paternal lineage, because Rahu is in the ninth house there, and it's influenced the karmic lord moon. Because especially of the paternal lineage's karma, one will find it quite difficult sometimes to grasp that higher knowledge and wisdom. And if they do, they could receive it in a way. It's kind of like looking at a black hole from far away. It just looks like a black hole with some orange color around it. Well, if you go closer, it is a lot more happening. There's 3 dimensions there. And then with the moon Rahu, such people will also be able to grasp, especially things related to tarot. Like, they can do very good in tarot, but also they can, go into certain dark sciences of mysticism as well. On the basic level, this is the person that's going to be interested in pharmaceuticals, chemicals, psychology. If Mars somehow comes with this particular connection, Mars and Venus, then you can see a person who will be interested in being a pilot or wanting to be an astronaut. And then mother herself becomes very obsessive about the father's situation. Father's health, what is father doing, where's father? There's that natural born fear about, losing the father. But then also moon is water. Rahu is vast. Okay. Ninth house is also the house of pilgrimages. So you can see, especially depending upon the type of sign this is in, one could be mugged at a religious place, especially with a vast body of water. And in certain signs, this person can actually attain highest of enlightenment on a vast body of water. So there's a duality that comes in. And actually, both of the events can happen with a single conjunction. In one trip, one can get mugged, but yet find their lifelong guru. First trip could be, a disaster trying to go somewhere. Second trip could be the most enlightening trip. Because remember, Rahu always brings duality wherever it's placed. There's going to be dual energies playing. And with Rahu, we got to understand Rahu is He's not a malefic as they have set it out to be. Rahu simply wants what it's due to him. Rahu was promised a position that wasn't given to him, and this is where he created that animosity. And so you will see, because ninth house becomes 12th from the 10th house, this person will be promised a lot of things. And then suddenly those promises are extracted back. And this is where this person will completely go against whatever they believed was to be right thing, whether it's working for some AI company, working for some big tech company, or working for the big medical field where they thought that this is supposed to be about helping humanity and this and that. And then suddenly, because of that betrayal, they completely go against the principle of what they actually thought they should be following. It's kind of like one of those Hollywood stories that plays out. But again, if it's going to play out, we have to see the karma and the jiva, which is, of course, Jupiter and Saturn. You know, how they're placed. So that's the main, story and theme that we see with this ninth house. So anyway, guys, this is my analysis of Moon Rahu in the ninth. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos. You want to know where your planetary placements are, all my books, reports, consultations. Check out the links here, KRSchannel.com. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.